Playing a great sounding solo over your favorite songs doesn't have to be complicated. As long as you can pick the strings and fret some notes, then you can learn pretty much everything else in less than 10 minutes. So let's get right into it. We're actually going to use two different pentatonic shapes here, just so we can kind of add some extra kick to our solos by using more of the fretboard. Now, there are a number of ways we can name these shapes, but in this lesson, we are going to keep it super simple. We'll have an E string shape and an A string shape, and they'll work the exact same way for both major and minor keys. So our E string shape looks like this. And our A string shape will be all the way up here. And we do have a couple extra notes on the lower string here, but we want to think about it as starting on the A string right there. These two shapes both work equally well when applied to music because they both actually contain the exact same notes, just in higher or lower octaves. Okay, those are the shapes. Now let's talk about how we can actually play them over any of our favorite songs. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Have you ever caught yourself reaching for a habit without even thinking about it? Maybe it's stress, boredom, or just wanting to fit in. That's where Fume comes in. It's not about quitting, it's about replacing. Fume offers a simple and enjoyable way to break away from bad habits while still having something satisfying to reach for. There's no vapor, no nicotine, just flavor. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that uses natural, non-toxic cores. So instead of inhaling vapor, you just draw in great tasting air. No chemicals, no batteries, no nonsense. It's also great if you need to keep your hands busy or just want something to fidget with. The wooden build is super sleek, and the magnetic features make it surprisingly fun to click, spin, or twist while you're working or thinking. My favorite flavors are raspberry, lemon, and crisp mint, but there are tons of flavor options, so you can definitely find one that fits you. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit change journey, so if you're ready to try it out for yourself, now's the time. Plus, right now, if you grab the journey pack using my code Clarke, you'll get a free Fume topper, which is a nice little upgrade to make the experience even better. Just head to tryfume.com/AndrewClarke or scan the QR code on the screen to get yours today. All right, so rather than getting bogged down in all the theory on why this all works, I'm just gonna give you the absolute essentials so that you can take everything you learn in this lesson and go apply it to any other song that you want. So every song that you'll play over has a key that ties all the chords and melodies together. And our first task here is to make sure that we are putting those two scale shapes into the key that matches the song. There will always be one position on the fretboard where these shapes will work. So how do we find that position? Well, we called those shapes the E string shape and the A string shape because of the notes on those strings. The note our pointer finger sits on tells us the minor key the shape works over, and our pinky finger tells us which major key the shape works over. So in the E string shape in this position, that's A minor and C major. For the A string shape, we get the same thing. A minor and C major. Now, if we look up the key of a song we want to play over and it's F sharp minor, we just need to find an F sharp note on the low E or A string, and because it's minor, we would use our pointer finger. So this is an F sharp note, which means our E string shape would sit right here. We could also find an F sharp note on the A string all the way up here. So our A string shape would look like this. And if we hit play on the song in F sharp minor, we can see that it works. Now, if I had a song in a major key, like D major, then I would just have to find a D note, and because it's major, I would be lining up my pinky. So our E string shape would look like this. And for our A string shape, we actually have our D note below it on the A string, right down here. So pinky, because it's D major. Just like that. So we've got the two shapes and we know how to position them for whatever key our song is in. Now, what do we do with the scales to make them sound less like scales and more like music? Well, it's time to start creating some basic licks of your own. And we do this by thinking in phrases. So think of it like when you're speaking. You don't just go on forever, word after word, without taking a breath. You'll say a phrase, then pause to take a breath or let someone else say something, then say another phrase. You can think of lick building in the exact same way. You play a little group of notes, then pause, take a breath, and then you move on to the next group of notes. So let's pull up a song and I'll talk you through a few strategies you can use to start creating your own licks. Okay, so this song is in the key of B flat major, so B flat note with the pinky finger because it's major. And our other shape. And our goal here now is to change these scales into these phrases. So the first way to do this is to change up the order. So we're not just playing through the scale in one direction. And we can do this by skipping over notes as we play and also changing the direction we're traveling mid-phrase. So something like this. Another thing we can do is we can change up the rhythm of the notes. So rather than just playing a note every beat or multiple per beat, what we want to do is we want to change the rhythm up. So something you might notice I'm doing too is sometimes I'm playing a note more than once. That's a perfectly great way to create a melody. Another thing we can do, add bends or vibrato. Another thing, slides. That's something that sounds really cool. So you can slide to and from a note in our scale shape, or you can actually even slide from a note that's not in the scale to a note that's in the scale. So something like this. Inside the scale. Something like that, or from outside the scale. The whole goal here, remember, is thinking in phrases. It's gonna take you some time. Don't worry about speed. Take it nice and slow. And eventually you wanna try this with both the shapes and put it all together. So your homework here is to take these concepts and apply them to any song that you enjoy. Look up the key, position the two pentatonic shapes, and then practice building your own licks over that song. All right, so good news, the printable PDF booklet for this lesson with all the fretboard diagrams is actually going to be totally free this week. All you have to do is head over to my Patreon and make a free account, and you can download it there. For my paid members, there will also be a follow-up practice tips lesson as well, so I'll see you there next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.